Hey, welcome to week 2 of the UNPL season 6. I'm Zan, coach of the San Diego Padres, and today we are battling That's a +1. I'm going to go over the team super quick. I'm trying to get it in 3 minutes or less. If you want to go straight to the battle, go straight to the battle. Timestamp is in the top of the description, so go enjoy. If you want to listen just a little bit what I got planned, what my opponents got going, then we're going to get through it right now. So looking at our opponent's team, I'll throw it on the screen. It's a weird team, I gotta say. It is not what I would call a standard team at all. And at first looking at it, you're like, I can beat this. Like, there's pieces here that are exploitable. The problem is, nothing here is exploitable all by the same Pokemon. Like Roaring Moon, like a setup Roaring Moon would go crazy here if he didn't have a Terra Quagsire. Or like Calm Mind Magearna would go crazy here if he didn't have Volcarona and Blissey. And then Mimikyu is a one-time hard stop to everything if it has red card. And then Palkia Origin just kind of 2-hit KOs everything that's not holding an Assault Vest, hence why you're seeing 2 Assault Vests on your screen right now. So it's just a lot of interesting pieces. I like the mindset. I watched a little bit of my opponent's draft analysis to see how they like to think, and I like their mindset going into games. So I'm super excited for this battle. We might get crushed. We might end up going 1-1, which is fine with me. I'd like to win, but I respect opponents who have such interesting teams. So kind of what we're bringing... We have a Boots Quacklevolt. We need Spin because he has so many avenues to hazard stack us, and we don't have room to fit a lot of Boots on the team. So I've got Spin, but also this Quacklevolt is Adamant Max Attack. It's got the Aqua Step, it's got the Close Combat, and it's got Roost to keep itself healthy because he does have a few passive Pokemon. So I want to try to exploit that. If we can get 2 Aqua Steps up, we outspeed everything. If we can get 1 Moxie Boost, we're looking really good as soon as Quag goes down, which is a common theme you'll see as we go through this. Magearna's Scarf, I don't plan on it keeping that for long. I kind of want to lead with it and just trick the Scarf away. We're Flare Cannon, Volt Switch, and Pain Split, just for the coverage, the momentum, and then to keep ourselves healthy, especially against Blissey coming in, we can really chunk it down and get a lot of health back. Gliscor is a very annoying Earthquake, Taunt, Toxic Protect set. Really wears down everything, can taunt Scizor to prevent it from using like a Rest with a Chesto Berry or something. So I like it for that, and otherwise just kind of helps me break down his bulkier Pokemon. Nothing really wants to switch in on it. We got the AV MUK. So this was originally going to be Sableye, but I decided I like MUK here a lot. I don't think he has a lot of great ways to knock it out in 1 or 2, other than something that's already set up. So having Poison Jab with Poison Touch just helps us spread that status all over the place. Fire Punch for Scizor. Shadow Sneak for Mimikyu to either break the disguise or knock it out if it's weakened, get that Poison Touch chance going. And then we've got Giga Drain. That's our only option into a non-Terra Quagsire. That's the only grass move I'm bringing this week, which is kind of funny. But hopefully we can catch Quag off guard with that. It does about half, usually. So we'll see. Terra Steel Assault Vest Armarouge with Flame Charge, Psyshock Lava Plume. That helps us break through Mimikyu. Psyshock helps us get around Blissey and Volcarona. And then we've got Clear Smog to get rid of any weird setup options he may bring. So I like that set. It loses to Houndoom, but if he brings Houndoom, he's crazy because we have Roaring Moon, who is a hard counter to Houndoom other than, Will-O-Wisp. Scarf Roaring Moon was just too good here. We need multiple checks to Palkia Origin, so I like the Scarf here. We've got Rock Slide to not get Flame Body burned by Volcarona if he's super bold. We outrun Volcarona at +1. So yeah, that's the team. I'm feeling pretty good about it. I can't hear the game audio this week. I messed with my audio settings and somehow lost it in my own ears, so I hope it's not crazy for you guys. But I'm going to check the recordings back. I'm going to try to mess with it as much as I can, but I'm going to try to get it as good as possible. But anyway, we're going to jump right into the battle, and I will see you there. All right, and we are back. I'm going to pick music that's hopefully quiet, maybe Area Zero Pokemon. We're searching. I don't know if he's searching just yet, but he's already sent me his Terra is Zoroark, which means Quagsire may not be coming to this game, which makes me a little sad that I didn't go with the setup on Roaring Moon, but hey, that's part of prep, right? Setup Roaring Moon looks great until you go against a Palkia Origin. All right, so let's see what he's got. He's got a lot of options. So, okay, no Quag, which is crazy to me. DOD is here. I think Dio can't really be the Calm Mind or Cosmic Power set because I just have 2 Dark types and a lot of Psychic Resist. Does bring the Zoroark. I was not ready for the Zoroark, I'll be honest. I did not give it much of a look. Has Mimi, has Blissey. Okay, so one of his top tiers didn't show up. Scizor, no Scizor. Okay, that's kind of huge. No Toedscruel, which is nice. No Squawkabilly, no Rotom, no Houndoom. So That's helpful. Our lead is Magirna, I think, in this case. We can trick away our Scarf immediately. Even if he leads Zorark, it's Terra Fairy, so it probably doesn't want to stay in, because it won't be like Terra Fire Flamethrower. I actually don't know how much that does, so I can check that real quick while we're letting the timer run down. Magirna into Zorark. Let's go Specs just to see. I think Flamethrower is the strongest fire move it gets. It doesn't KO in one, so that's nice. So good luck, have fun to my opponent. I'm going to fix up my prep dock real quick. No Electric, Jupiter, no Sablast, Sinistra, no Ursaring, no Lycanroc on our side. And then I can get rid of his Pokemon he didn't bring. No Quag is kind of crazy. But hey, I didn't build the team. So I don't know what he's thinking. I'm a little nervous. This is more offensive than I expected. I expected a pretty kind of defensive build outside of Palkia. Looks like he's actually very weak to Fairy outside of the Volcarona, so that's helpful. So our plan is hopefully set up win with Quackable late game, or just Toxic burn everything down with Gliscor. I'm thinking his lead might be, yeah, Deoxys to set hazards. Whoa, my game is super laggy. I hope that's not reflected in the recording, because if it is, that's pretty bad. So if the recording's super laggy, I apologize, because it's looking pretty rough on my side. I'm hoping it fixes in the recording. I'm just going to trick this, assuming it's going to be hazard lead. Hopefully he goes for rocks, not spikes, and then I can immediately bring Quackable in. So we'll see how that goes. Deoxys is a tough mon to break. But I think if we trap it into one move, it at least can't do any setup shenanigans. It can only really be kind of a pivot. Could run like Psycho Boost Ice Beam to really threaten my team, but that doesn't do much to Magirna. He just DM'd, said cap card isn't working. Okay, so he said he's going to restart. I assume we're just going to do same leads. So we'll see what happens, see if he can get it working, and we'll be right back. All right, we're back. We're in a different battlefield, but, you know, that's fine. Hopefully he got his cap card working. Let's check. Okay, he says he's good to go. So hopefully it's working for him now. Ours seems less laggy, so maybe we just needed that quick restart, and we'll be good to go from here on. This also could be knock, but if we trick it, then it just knocks the item we take from it, which is likely leftovers, maybe red card, maybe boots. Not too sure. Could even be Colbur. Or, you know, even like something crazy like weakness policy. So he hard switches. Unless it's Palkia, we're in good shape. Deoxys. Oh, I'm so stupid. Deoxys is pressure. Okay. So we tricked the actual Deoxys, and Zorark was hiding as Deoxys. So Zorark's the backmon currently. So we do get a Colbur Berry, which is entirely useless to us. But now he's stuck into one move. So I should have known. It didn't show pressure. That means it's Zorark. I've got to keep up with these mind games. So Deoxys item is now Scarf. Zorark is the last mon, so he has to do some shuffling to get it out of that last position, I believe. I guess he doesn't really have a way to status Gliscor. He could go for a hard Ice Beam here. I could also go into this because I do want to get the Terra up sooner rather than later. I do like that. If he goes for knock, that's not great, but I don't know if he'd go for knock on our Colbur Berry. I could also just Volt Switch and see what he wants to do. That seems like a much smarter play. Okay, he's Thunder Wave. That's slightly annoying. But now he's Scarfed into Thunder Wave. I should have switched into Gliscor, I guess. I am fully paralyzed. He might predict the Gliscor here. I'm still going to go for Volt Switch regardless. He does Hard Switch, probably anticipating Gliscor. So does he go into Palkia? He goes into Blissey. Okay. We can deal with that. We get double paralyzed, so off to a fantastic start, not getting to do anything for 2 full turns. So we love to see that. I will Volt Switch now. We could all Pain Split and just chunk him down immediately, but it's not going to do that much because we are like decently high HP. He's Thunder Blissey. What? We finally do get to move and go for a Volt Switch. I have no idea how to read Thunder Blissey. I don't know if he predicted hard Quacklevel or what, but oh my gosh. So I can go into, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into Gligar here, or Gliscor, activate my Toxic Orb, and either protect or double. He shows leftovers. Yep. Okay, everything is struck through for some reason. Let's stop that right now. Okay, so if he's got Thunder, he very well could have Ice Beam or even Blizzard if he's a madman. I could protect to scout for that, or I could just hard switch into MUK because there's a good chance he goes into Palkia here. Could go into Armarouge also to eat the Ice Beam. And go ahead and get our Terra Steel up. Because we want that to be up ASAP. I think I will do that. That might be a little bold of a play. Maybe not the best thing to do in the world. But I do expect an Ice move to come out here. So if we can go ahead and get Terra up. Yep, Ice Beam. Okay. So he is Volt Beam Blissey. Does 32 damage. So maybe we can learn something from that. Significantly invested. Like max special attack Blissey. I'm gonna Terra. I could Flame Charge. I could Psyshock. I could Lava Plume. What comes in here? Maybe Dio. Probably Dio. I kind of do like the Lava Plume. He stays in. He's got coverage for Armarouge. I really did expect the switch. This Lava Plume's not going to do anything. Psyshock would almost two-hit KO. So we do get our Terra Steel. We didn't lie about our Terra type. I always worry about that I'm going to create a Pokemon and it's going to have the wrong Terra type. That does a lot. So he's not Spadef. Stealth Rock. And his last move has to be Recovery, right? So Thunder, Ice Beam, Stealth Rock. Leftovers gives him quite a bit of health back. I'm gonna go for a Psyshock just to see how much it does. Because the only way like this play doesn't work out is if he goes hard Palkia. Or sorry, not Palkia. He goes hard Zoroark. So that does, yeah, about half. He goes for the Thunder, lands it. Don't get the 30%, please. Thank you. Okay. So we've got him at about half. Unfortunately, we're giving up our Volcarona answer, which is not preferred. I could go Gliscor now, but I'm constantly threatened by an Ice Beam. Could go Magearna, but I'm not getting any progress on it. I could trick it with Magearna, steal the leftovers. How much does Flame Charge? Flame Charge does about what Lava Plume does. So I'm going to go for another Plume. I'm trying to catch... Okay, maybe I catch Zoroark here. Or Mimi would be nice too. Dio comes in. The actual Dio, I assume, or the Zoroark Dio? The actual Dio, okay. So we can see what kind of set this is. Lava Plume does little over a fourth. We do get the burn immediately, but it's 30%, so it's fair. Deoxys defense. Lava Plume, that's about right for max HP Dio. With some speed or something else somewhere. My pivot here is pretty much always Magearna. Because I don't want this getting paralyzed. I could definitely go Gliscor, but I think he might predict that at some point and go for an Ice Beam if he has it. So let's see. I do take rocks. I do need to get rid of those. He has spikes. So I can Volt Switch to get a spin here. Or try to get a spin. He does take more burn damage. I do assume he goes Blissey here, but I don't really have a reason. You know, it's like half, so Pain Split's not useful. I am just going to Volt. Could definitely go for another spike here. So this was something I was thinking was possible, was the hazard stack. I almost didn't bring Spin Quackable, which would have been tragic. Now, this makes me think Mimikyu might be his hard switch to Quackable too, though. So that's a little awkward. Let's go for spikes again. Hopefully nothing bad happens to us. We do get our Volt Switch. That's a decent chunk. Now we go into Quackable and it's a mind game with Mimi. Right? Yeah, that's got to be our play. There's no other option, really. Other option was to go Gliscor and get a Toxic on something, but if this just stays in, then he gets an extra spike for nothing. So I think he goes Mimi here, and I am going to go for Aqua Step to try to catch the Mimi, because I assume it's also red card to force this out, maybe activate a booster on Roaring Moon. So I do want to pop that as soon as possible. I don't think we knock this out, but we are adamant, so maybe, because Quackable's pretty strong. It's close. Unfortunately, if we don't knock it out and then it goes down to burn, okay, well, it switches anyway. I was gonna say, if we don't knock it out and then it goes down to burn, we don't get the Moxie boost, which is awkward. So Palkia comes in. Big Palkia. We get the Aqua Step off. I do minimal damage. I don't know that he can one-shot me. I think I EV this to always live one. He one-shots me with Draco, but I think he likes Spatial Rend better. And Spatial Rend should never one-shot me, so I am going to go for the spin here, just because it's important to get rid of these hazards. CC is close to KOing him, depending on how defensive, which he doesn't seem to be very defensive. Spatial Rend shouldn't KO. If it KOs, he's modest, or it's a crit. Okay, doesn't KO. This is our win con, so not fantastic. But I think at this point, we're kind of committed to just dumping a CC into him. Getting him really low so that we can knock it out with priority. Okay, yep. So we get him down to like 5%. It's a bit unfortunate. He can get hazards back up later in the game. Does just drop a Surf. He is going through the ceiling. This Pokemon is massive. So he does knock out Quackable. That was our late game win con. But I think it did do its job. I can either show him that we're Scarf Moon confirmed now, or I can hit him with a Shadow Sneak from MUK. Assuming that knocks him out, it does 10%. I think he was definitely lower than 10%. MUK, does that bring in Blissey or Deoxys? Maybe. Gliscor obviously gets KO'd. This doesn't enjoy being in against it. I don't want Magearna to take a hit if we don't have to. I do think I go Roaring Moon and just U-turn. And if he wants to preserve this, he can. But the MUK, I actually think I like MUK better in this case because it does threaten, well, sort of threatens Blissey. I treated that with some time to make him think maybe I'm just defensive AV. And don't actually outspeed it or have priority, so that hopefully he doesn't anticipate Shadow Sneak and lets me knock this out for free. It's kind of the hope. I guess I should have brought Hazard somewhere. I had T-Spikes on Gliscor originally, but ended up trading it away. So he does preserve the Palkia. If I had Hazards, then I would be feeling really good right now. Goes into the Dio. Is it the real Dio? It is the real Dio. So 2 Shadow Sneaks might just knock this out, and then we don't have to worry about a spike. So let's see. Oh. After burn, it's maybe a roll. We can try. At most, he gets 1 spike up. Oh, MUK, you're taking up a lot of the screen, buddy. Okay, we're gonna go for a Shadow Sneak. Probably roll, maybe not. Okay, yeah, he lives on 1. Burn's gonna knock him out. He will get up 1 spike. So, not the end of the world, but also not great, because that is gonna chip down the rest of our team. Our only Bootsmon is gone. Our Spinner is gone. He might go into Blissey here to get rocks back up, which is just an absolute headache. But I mean, we didn't have much of a choice. I wasn't really able to switch anything into Palkia. I do want to preserve this because it is a reasonable counter. So Dio's gone and Quack is gone. So, I mean, he has options here. He doesn't know what we have. We could definitely have Rock Slide for a Volk. We have the Fire Punch, which is kind of useless now. He does bring in the Volcarona. I considered Rock Slide. I am just going to Poison Jab. I said I wanted to preserve it, and I'm lying immediately and just attacking anyway. He might be like Will-O-Wisp. Okay, he's setting up with Quiver Dance. There's no way this hits Armarouge, because Armarouge resists. Flame Body wouldn't be great here, but a Poison would be great here. Neither happens, okay. I'm going to go into Armarouge, because I think it can't knock us out. Because we are Flash Fire, Terra Steel. Unless Volcarona gets a move that I don't know about. So, Yeah, I don't even know, because it mainly, bug, grass, psychic, and fire. Weird, resist, you're immune to all of that. Goes for bug buzz. This should not do... That did a ton. Okay, well, I might have made a mistake. I did not expect that to do so much. Let me see. Max special attack, Volcarona, bug buzz. Yeah, that does about what you would expect. It is a 2-shot? No, if we're Terra, that has to be like modest. Because that was supposed to do at least slightly less. Ooh, I might have messed up. Okay, well, luckily, he is only at +1. So, Rock Slide on Roaring Moon always threatens this. We do have to show that we're Scarfed now, unfortunately. I've not been keeping my notes that well. Maybe doesn't anticipate Scarf, but Scarf did just make a lot of sense into this team. Does switch. He doesn't really have a great switch into this. Goes into the Zoroark, which is no longer disguised. If this is Scarf max speed, it's a problem, because it does actually outrun us because we are adamant. We do 50%. Oh, man, tell me you're not max speed, please. So, Zoroark, Rock Slide. Yeah, that's about right for no bulk Zoroark. I think he's going to Terra Fairy here. And, okay, how do we win? We have a 5% Palkia that we need to keep MUK for. We have a Quiver Dance of Volcarona we need to keep this for. We have a Mimikyu we've got to deal with somehow. Probably Gliscor. Yeah, I'm going to have to go Magearna here and just hope I take a Terra Fairy Terra Blast into a Flamethrower, which I'm pretty sure we do. I just can't risk it being timid, max speed, Terra Blast Fairy, because we are adamant, so it outspeeds us by like 2 points. Else we could have risked it, we would have outrun it, but I wasn't willing to take that risk. So we can see if he hard switches here, then we can kind of confirm. So does Terra Blast. I assume you're Scarf. I think there's no reason to not think you're Scarf. And that's annoying because my poor decision EVing... Okay, that crit. I was going to say that looked like Specs damage, but never mind. Has put us behind because I honestly didn't anticipate Zoroark, if we're being honest here. Should have only done 65. Yeah, so with a crit, that checks out. So I will Volt here, hoping to get out on the Blissey. So Zoroark always beats Roaring Moon. This can only come in one more time on Zoroark. Blissey comes in, we Volt out. We don't Volt out because we get fully paralyzed, which is pretty frustrating because now he gets rocks for free. He is relatively healthy, so maybe we can steal some of that. I assume he's no HP, so he's 600. We're at 150. If he's about that much, he's at about 400, so we'll go back up decently. We could also trick and steal his leftovers. I kind of like that play. If he's Fire Move last, then you got me good. Stealth Rock plus triple Bolt Beam Flamethrower. Okay, so he does set rocks, which we could have prevented had we not gotten paralyzed. I will give him a Colbur Berry that's now useless to him. We'll take his leftovers. I will Pain Split next turn to try to get healthier. We can't really do much about the hazards at this point. We're taking 25% on everything coming in, so we've got to play our turns as well as we can. We'll Pain Split to hopefully get a little healthier. And he is soft-boiled last, so love Blissey. Gotta love Blissey. So I will Pain Split, probably go back up to full here. Yeah, go absolutely back up to full. And he's back down to about half. I will just Volt Switch, because this is just a war of attrition between these two. They're not really ever doing anything to each other. Ice Beam's going to do like 20 here. Yeah, 30. So we will Volt Switch. If he's max special attack Blissey, does that KO Gliscor? No. I EV Gliscor to always live 1. Man, we need these other guys so badly. It was not smart of me to sack Quackable so early. I think that's going to make this game incredibly hard. If he's modest, he actually could knock out Gliscor, so that would be awkward. We almost had Drain Punch on MUK, and I'm kind of regretting not having Drain Punch on it now. I think I will go Roaring Moon. Ice Beam doesn't do half to us, and he doesn't have a great knock switch in. This is a tough one. He did not bring the team I thought he would bring at all. Just to be completely honest. So, not probably 2 shots. Oh, Knock probably 1 shots from here, actually. I forgot I knocked him down to half health, and he doesn't have leftovers anymore. So, Knock blows back everything except Zoroark here. So, if he goes hard Zoroark, then we're feeling okay. So, we'll just go for that. I think even Knock into hard Zoroark is still going to do crazy damage just because Roaring Moon is so strong. I noticed with all the draft analysis, or like the people talking about my team, they all think Roaring Moon is bad. Like, what is wrong with Roaring Moon? I know it's just an attack bot, but come on. It's got some things going for it. We knock off the Colbur Berry without it activating, which is funny. I mean, yeah, Knock still does a lot to Zoroark. Would have still knocked it out if it came in there. We get rid of the Blissey, but I think that Blissey definitely did its job. So, Zoroark, Mimi, Volk, and Palkia. Palkia's at like 5%. Volk is at like 60. Mimi comes in, forces us out. Zoroark is at like 45%, and then Mimi is Mimi, and it's at full. We cannot give up our Roaring Moon at this point, so I am going to go into Gliscor. I know it can SD, and a +2 attack will hurt. I know it probably will SD. Just play rough. Just holy crap! Is that banded? Okay, it's just Life Orb. I know I'm more Spadef than defense, but damn. So I'm just gonna protect to get a little health back. That's kind of nuts. That's gotta be adamant, right? Because that did after 12%. Yeah, that has to be adamant. So Life Orb Mimi. I need to pop the disguise, so maybe attacking here was the play. No, okay, good. Unless he SDs. If he SDs, it might be GG. He does SD on the protect. Good play, honestly. That's a very well played. So that's a little unfortunate. Okay, so that play rough makes me think he's adamant. I can U-turn on him after this into a knockoff. I will just go for Quake to try to break the disguise, but he is faster. Goes for the Shadow Claw, guaranteed accurate. Doesn't knock me out, which is kind of massive. Earthquake will chip him down or break his disguise. I could have Toxic, but I think at the end of the day, the disguise damage actually does help. And I could protect here, but I think that's a little greedy. So that was kind of huge, so we lived that on 2. I'm glad we invested a lot in health, at least. I don't know if it was a roll. Earthquake is saying it's doing 57 to 67. If we look at Roaring Moon into this, which is getting weaker and weaker all the time. Knock will knock it out. Shadow Sneak to us, even at +2 adamant, it's doing like 30%. So we're not feeling great about it. I am going to Earthquake because I think letting it get another Sword Stance is a throw, even if he does knock me out here. Shadow Sneak from MUK knocked this out, actually. Because he is at like, what, 60%? Probably not then, right? Actually, he's dangerously close to losing to Scarf Rock Slide outside of Scarf Zoroark. So as long as we have Magearna up, we should be okay. Shadow Sneak definitely doesn't KO. I don't know what I was thinking. MUK is not that strong. Roaring Moon comes in, takes 24%. We might die, and if we lose Roaring Moon, we lose the game. +2 Adamant Mimi should never knock out Mag. And honestly doesn't ever knock out MUK, so we could always go for Poison Jab there. I will go into Mag. I know this is our Zoroark answer, but we've got to make a decision, and I think this is what we've got to do. We're going to take the chip. We actually may not live the Shadow Claw, but this is kind of our... Yeah, we actually don't live the Shadow Claw if he's adamant, which is tough. Yeah. Dang, dude. Adamant Mimikyu is wild. I should have just Quaked on it earlier, or Toxic, to help wear it down. It's under 50% now, but we're down to a Scarf Roaring Moon. So if we're at 220. We're at 63%. We dropped that down to 39%. I don't think he knocks us out with Shadow Sneak. So we've got to do the set of plays right because we don't have a backup. So if I had been Jolly Moon, it would have swept. But because I'm not Jolly Moon, it doesn't sweep, which is unfortunate. +2 Shadow Sneak is doing 109 maximum. He can go Volcarona, Zorart, or Palkia here as a sack. And then bring in Zorart. And then Mimi cleans up. I just have to go for knock. He protects. Interesting. I figured this needed coverage, but I guess not. I guess Shadow Sneak plus... I mean, obviously Shadow Sneak plus Play Rough was... Or Shadow Claw... Wait, he doesn't have Sneak. He has SD 2 attacks. Okay, so he has to sack something here. Sacks a Mimi, which is good. Goes into Zorart. We go into MUK. He knows we go into MUK. He hits us with a strong move. Roaring Moon, I think, only comes in one more time. Yeah, Roaring Moon can only switch in one more time. Volcarona is the switch in. Oh, no, sorry. That is Zorart. Unfortunately, I think we sack Moon here. So, doesn't have Mimi, doesn't have Blissey. We have to hope MUK can take a Zorart Terra Blast or a Zorart hit into a Volcarona hit. Yeah, I mean, that's the play. We can't switch this in and out again. If he's max, yeah. I'm so stupid for running Adamant. I only crept the... That was a weird animation. I only crept Volcarona because I really did not anticipate Zorart coming. So that was a huge bring on his part. We will go into MUK. MUK is our last hope, which is kind of crazy. This is going to be stabilized. I guess we're better off with MUK. We're at 76%. We are AV, so we have that going for us. Poison Jab guarantees a KO here. And our other two moves are useless. So he hard switches. Does he have Psychic? If he's Psychic Zorart for MUK, that's kind of nuts. Sacks Palkia, which is the right play, because I was always just going to KO it with Shadow Sneak regardless. So it all comes down to if we can live a hit from Volcarona plus Zorart. And I don't know how realistic that is. Goes into the real Volcarona. He's max special attack. I mean, he's not the defensive set. We already saw that a Poison Jab did like 40-odd%. I should have been Rock Slide. That's definitely a fail on my part. We'll just go for the P-Jab. It's our best move. He Fiery Dances, probably his strongest hit into us. Doesn't do very much. He gets the special attack raise. We need the poison here, MUK. If ever you came through for me. And instead of the poison, we get the Flame Body. And no, okay. The game didn't want us to win. So if we don't get burned there, we get the poison, he goes down to poison or close, and Shadow Sneak knocks him out. Zorart comes in. If it's all special moves Zorart, it can't KO us. Because it's Choice Scarf. So Dark Pulse is doing 18% to us. But now we have to eat a +1 Fiery Dance. So we lost off of some incredible hacks, to be honest. Which, if I'm not mistaken, I think our opponent lost to some hacks previously. So, you know, tit for tat, I guess. But pretty unlucky because we did actually, now that I'm looking at the calcs and seeing how weak Zorart is, we did have this in the bag if the burn didn't happen. Or if the poison happened. Because I think if Volcarona goes down there, Zorart can't two-shot us. And a Poison Jab would take him out here. Because it does do over 50%. So I guess all we can do is hope for like a Night Days miss here. Go for P-Jab. No Night Days miss. And he knocks us out with a crit. Okay, we weren't meant to win this week. We brought, I think, good sets. The hazards were definitely rough. Trying to get rid of them. I shouldn't have sacked Quack as early as I did. But at the end of the day, MUK would have cleaned up the game now that we see what options he had. And without that Flame Body burn, we would have won. So I should have, I guess, just run Rock Slide over Giga Drain, not hard focusing on the Quagsire. I think that was our mess up at the end of the day, because Rock Slide would have one-shot the Volcarona, and then we would have cleaned up the Zoroark with MUK. So, lesson learned. We go down. We're 1-1, but our differential is still +3, I believe. So we're feeling okay going into week 3. We can bounce back. This was a good game. I think it's a good showcase of our team. I think we had trouble adapting, but you get unlucky sometimes. That's Pokemon. And yeah, that was fun. GG's to +1, and we will see you all next week.